Welcome to Yogaroo Online. And in this practice, we're going to explore the concept of befriending challenge. So I'm going to, a very simple sequence, but there will be, of course, standing poses because they challenge all of us, and certain poses where I'll be kind of possibly pushing you a little bit out of your comfort zone. And in that way, it's to kind of get you to build the pathways of the brain that kind of works out what way am I going to take this challenge, and you're approaching it in your yoga practice with a calm mind, because that's what yoga does for you, so that, again, like everything in our practice, when we come off the mat, that these pathways have been built in the neuroplasticity of the brain, and we approach challenges off our mat with the same calm, which, looking at both choices. And it's important to just note here that the challenge, the answer to the challenge might not be, I'm going to do what Ruth is doing up there because she's the teacher. The challenge might be, that doesn't suit me. I'm going to just back off and do something, I'll lift the leg a little bit less than her suggestion. I will give you choices, but just remembering the challenge isn't to push to the point where you are uncomfortable. The challenge is to play around a little bit with your comfort zones and see what happens. Okay, so standing poses, use a wall, whatever, do what suits you. I want this practice to be about you meeting your challenge, me giving you things that will challenge you, and you seeing how it goes in terms of your reaction to your challenge, and just keeping a calm mind. Don't be getting annoyed with yourself or me. Okay, as usual, we'll start with cat-cow position. Now, just remembering this is all about kind of like, I'll be bringing you into positions where, you'll be a little bit working with the core. Is always great to switch on when we're balancing, because that's kind of the central point where the center of gravity is. So a good core and pressing into the ground of whatever is pressing into the ground to find your foundation, spreading your hands, spreading your feet, grounding down and lifting up, okay? Just little tips for how you're going to approach your balancing sections of the class. So let's just come into a few gentle rounds of cat-cow, just easing out any anticipation of what is or isn't in the path for you in this class. And don't worry, it's all poses that you'll be familiar with. Inhaling, the belly softens down towards the ground, the gaze comes slightly forward. Exhaling, lift the spine up towards the ceiling. Feel those little bits of space between the vertebrae now. Pressing strongly into your hands, pressing lightly into your knees and the tops of your feet there. So again, starting to build this idea of what's pressing and what's growing out of that. Okay, a few more rounds with your breath. Remember, take control of your practice. This is your practice, so you move through your cat-cows with your unique breath here. Okay, and then we're going to come straight into a little bit of a challenge. We're going to come to our side arm reach. So on your next inhale, pivot that right foot off the right side of the mat, reach the left arm away and the left arm up. This is your inhale. Exhale, back to all fours. And then straight to the left-hand side on your inhale, pivot the left foot off the side of your mat, reach right arm up, left leg away. Okay, so that's our little flow. We're going to go through it a few times now. So exhale, it always just brings you back to neutral. Let's keep going now. So inhale, pivot the right foot off the mat, reach left arm up, left leg away. And then exhale, comes back to all fours, neutral. Inhale, pivot the left foot off the mat, right arm reaches up, right leg reaches away. And then exhale, come back to neutral position. Let's do one more round of then. Inhale, pivot the right foot off the mat, reach left arm up, left leg away, press through the heel, reach through the fingertips. Let's take 1 or 2 breaths here. Inhaling and exhaling all the way down to all fours again. Last time on left side, pivot the left foot off the mat, reach right arm up, right leg away, press through the heel, reach the fingertips up, take 1 breath here, inhaling, and then exhaling, coming back to all fours. Okay, so getting this idea of the kind of the center of gravity, the core really helping you with your balance here, and approaching this with a kind of a playfulness as well. From all fours, we're going to inhale. Actually, let's walk our feet, our knees a little bit together. Just it forms a bit more of a triangle here for our balance. Or, you know, you might find that that doesn't work for you. Everyone's different. I find when I'm lifting one leg up and one arm away, that the feet, that starting with the knees slightly closer together helps me with my balance. But see what works for you. Again, owning your practice here. So inhale, reach the left arm away and the right leg away. Keep those hips nice and squared there. Exhale, you're going to just bend the elbow, keep it high, bend the knee, keep the hip high, or keep the leg high. And then we're going to flow through that. So inhale, reach them away, and exhale, just bending. See, can you keep them nice and buoyant and high? Inhale, reaching, and exhale, bending. Last time, inhale, reach, and exhale, bending. Exhale, bringing them all down again. Do the same thing on the other side. Reach the left leg away now, the right arm forward. Inhaling here and exhale, keeping them as high as you can. Bringing that left knee out to the side, the right elbow out to the side. It's like you're just kind of skimming the surface of the water here. It's not dropping down. So inhaling to reach and exhaling out to the side. Inhale to reach, press the heel away, and exhaling, the foot opens to the side, out to the side there. Last time, inhale to reach, and exhale, opening the leg out to the side, the arm out to the side. Coming back to all fours again. So again, just last thing to note here is that, you know, with this playing around with balance, don't get too caught up in your absolute accuracy of what your pose looks like. It's, you know, you're playing around with balance here. You might not be the picture perfect pose in this type of practice. Okay, so let's come up to all fours, and then come to standing. So step left leg forward, lift right knee up, step right leg forward, folding down. Inhale, press into your feet, reach the arms up high, and exhale, hands down the midline in prayer position. Okay, we're going to start each of our 3 flows here with a standing, so the first one is to the side, with standing balances, your favorite. Okay, so remembering for each standing balance, I won't explain this for each of them because I want to get a little bit of momentum going up in the class, but remembering, lift all 10 toes, press them down strongly into the ground, like you're digging the roots of a plant into the soil. When you feel that arch is starting to lift with the connection with the hand, or with your fingertip or your toes and the ground, remembering to press some weight into the back of the heel there too. So feeling the legs really lighting up here, of the nice muscular activity, the more you press into the ground. Then pour all your weight into your right foot and start to lift your left leg up. Now you can bring the hands to the hips there. Left leg lifting, nice and slowly here, flex the foot. Keep those hips to the front of your mat there. Inhale here, and then exhale, maybe bring the hands in prayer position. You're just going to lift that leg out to the side. So it's kind of, you know, fire hydrant type thing. Now this front knee, the standing knee, can be bent a little bit. So just sometimes if you bring down your center of gravity, it's a little bit easier for the balance. So inhale to lift it, and then exhale, just rotating the whole hip out to the side. And it's okay if the hip opens a little bit to the side there. It'd be very hard to open the hip without it. Inhale to lift, and exhale, lift the leg out to the side. Inhale to lift, and exhale out to the side. Do one more time. Inhale to lift, and exhale out to the side. Hold it here for inhale. Exhale, step that left leg all the way to the back of the mat. Reach the arms back. Inhale, reach the arms up high here. Bring the hands down to the hips. I'm going to give you the option to just try something different with the legs here. Again, it's all building this whole challenge thing. Always when we come up to our high lunge, I talk about making sure that the right foot is in line with the right hip, the left leg is in line with the left hip, to make sure that you're giving yourself plenty of space left to right on your mat for balance. This week, if you want to try to just challenge your balance a little bit more, bring your feet in more towards the midline. And it's like your legs are more on a tightrope rather than train tracks. Now, if at any stage this is just interfering with your practice and you're finding it too hard, bring those legs out wider again, but maybe play around with it and just notice that the narrower stance. So I've taken my right foot to the center of the mat and my left foot to the center of the mat. And I definitely notice the balance is much harder. It might even just remind you that this is tricky, and you will remember to keep the legs wider in your future high lunges. Inhale, reach the arms up high again. Ooh, I'm already finding it. And then exhale, bend the left elbow, bring the palm of the hand down to the back of the shoulders there. Reach that elbow up, open the chest. Feel the breath waking up here. Inhale, reach the arms up high again. Exhale, bring the right hand to the lower back or the back of the left leg there. Reach the left fingertips up and back to the back right corner of your mat. Ground into those feet there. If you're on that tightrope, notice the wobbles here. Inhale, reach both arms up again, and exhale, reach the arms back into arrowhead. Now, a little bit of balancing challenge here. You're going to step that left leg forward a little bit and then lift it up any amount coming into warrior three. So any amount, it might just be an inch or two off the ground, or it might be halfway up, just depending on what your balance is feeling like. And then exhale, step that left foot forward, folding down. Inhale, press into your feet, reach the arms up high. And exhale, hands down in midline in prayer position. Okay, left side. So let's take it to our leg lifts again. So this time you're going to press into your feet, pour all your weight into your left foot. Hands to hips initially, lift that right leg up on your inhale. Hands in prayer position, probably a better position for this one, get them out of the way. And then exhale, you're going to lift that right leg out to the side. So I'm literally just opening the whole hip out to the side. Inhale brings it back, lift it. And then exhale out to the side, remembering bending that left knee if it helps you find your balance. Inhale to lift it, and exhale out to the side. Last time, excuse me, inhale to lift it. Exhale out to the side. Inhale here with the leg lifted, and exhale, step that left leg back, find your high lunge on the left side. So I have my left leg forward now, my right leg is back. Again, are you going to play around with bringing that left foot into the center of the mat, the right foot into the center of the mat, and just noticing the difference that makes? You've made a narrow stance here, and already I can feel that I have to work much harder to stay standing. I'm much more working with my proprioception and just feeling all those muscles that are firing left and right to keep me upright and standing. Inhale, reach the arms up high again, press into those feet. And exhale, bend the right elbow now, and just gently place the right hand into the center of the shoulder blades there. Reach that right elbow up towards the ceiling. Open the chest on the right side here. Feel the lovely stretch of the shoulder joint. Cinch the waist in now, making sure that the belly doesn't just open up towards the front of your mat. So cinch the waist in. Inhale, reach the arms up high again. And exhale, this time you're going to reach the right or the left hand to either the small of your back or the back of your right leg. Reach the left fingertips, right fingertips up and over to the back left corner of your mat. Inhale, reach the arms up high again. Exhale, reach the arms back. Coming into our little bit of standing balance again. So on your inhale, you're maybe going to half step that left leg forward, right leg forward, and then lift that right leg any amount. So just making sure that those hips stay squared towards the front of your mat there. We're not opening our hip at all. And then step that right leg forward, coming into Tadasana. So we come to our second standing flow now. I'll come to the front just to show you what we're going to do with our feet now. Okay, so press all your weight into your right foot now and lift the left leg up, okay? So this time we're going to circle the leg all the way back, okay? We've done this one before. It's a lovely one for opening the hips. So on our inhale, we lift it up as high as we can. Keep that foot flexed. I find that helps me to get the rotation of the hip there. And then hinge forward, right knee can be bent if it helps you. Exhale, really slowly feed that knee back. So keep the knee as high as you can, and maybe don't worry too much about what the lower leg is doing. Concentrate on the knee being nice and high. Let's make these rotations nice and slow. So let's inhale and exhale for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So the knee ends up at the back And then inhale back to forward and lift it up. Exhale for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale to bring it forward. Lift. Last round. Exhale for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale here. And then exhale, step that leg back and find your way into arrowheads. Again, deciding, do you want to have the feet on a tightrope or on tracks? And exhaling here. Okay, so the foot position is going to change for next. So when we're going to ground that left foot down, open the hips. So open your hips up to the side of the room there and sweep the right arm up and over to find our way into reverse warrior. So we start inhale. Our exhale, we're just going to come into warrior. So let's take a look at our feet and positions of our hips. Our hips are kind of, they might not be totally square, but they're towards the side of your mat. Squeeze into the back of that left hip there, squeeze the right hip and slice it under. So that opening this groin, this inner groin on the right-hand side. Okay, we're going to come up onto the toes of the right foot here, okay? So on your inhale, lift the right heel, maybe hinge forward, or not hinge forward, drop down a little bit. And then exhale, drop the heel again. Inhale to lift the heel, reach forward with the right hand, and exhale to bring it down again. Inhale to lift the right heel, and then exhale to bring it down again. On our next inhale, we're going to come back into our reverse. Reach the fingertips up and over, feel that lovely side bend. And then exhale, we're going to bring that right elbow down onto the top of the right knee there. Reach the left arm up and over. So our Tadasana. Now what can be nice here is to place the left fingertips on the back of the skull there, just to open the chest up to the side of the room. And it takes a little bit of the intensity out of the shoulder and concentrates the pose on the actually opening of the chest here. Breathe. So our little challenge for this one is, can you stay exactly where you are there? Really engage your core here and either lift up slightly off that elbow or see can you reach that right arm forward and bring it back, place it down. Reach the arm forward and exhale, bring it down. Last time, reach the arm forward and exhale, bring it down. Inhale, sweep the arm up and over into our reverse warrior. And then exhale, we're going to come into triangle pose. So the hips are still square to the side of the mat. Keep a little bend in that front knee. A lot of people are inclined to hyperextend that front knee in Trikonasana. The arm can just be placed on the inside of the leg or just holding onto the shin there, but just making sure that you're not, or up here, anywhere is fine, potentially not pressing into the hinge of the knee there. Reach the left fingertips up and high towards the ceiling. Breathing. So really squeeze into the back of that right hip there. Press into your feet, particularly that back foot there. Okay, we're going to sneak forward and see can we lift that left leg any amount. So with our hips open. So it's kind of similar. I'm going to come back so I don't hit my head. It's similar to our warrior, except where we have our hips open to the side of the room. If you have a brick nearby to you, you can grab that and place it under your right arm. Then lift that left leg any amount. Let's say that the most important thing is to keep the hips open to the side of the room, and then the leg just lifts any amount it can, rather than the left hip dropping down towards the mat. So inhale, lift that left leg any amount, press strongly out through the heel here. That will make sure that the muscles of the hip and the leg are active, and it takes a little bit of the intensity out of the lift. And then exhale to bring that leg back down again. We'll come into our arrowhead, reach the arms back. And then inhale, just step that left leg forward, folding down. Inhale, press into the feet, reach the arms up high. And exhale, hands down the midline in prayer position. Okay, so we take it to the other side now. This time we're going to lift the right leg up. So hands to hips initially, lift that right leg up here. Inhale to lift, flex the foot. And then exhale, either hands to prayer position or hips, depends what just suits you. Maybe the left leg is bent, and feed that left knee back. Squeeze the back of the hips there. So remembering they're the thing that's controlling the speed of the leg. Let's do it for the count of 6 now. So inhale to lift and exhale for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale to lift. Exhale to 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale to lift. Last time. Exhale to 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale here, and then exhale, step that leg back, find your way into arrowhead. Front knee bent, left leg straight. Roll those shoulders back. We're going to come into our reverse now, so if you listen carefully, you're going to flatten that right leg now. Place the right hand on the right thigh and reach the left fingertips up and over to find your way into reverse warrior. Then we're going to come into our warrior pose. So just again, having a look at your feet here. And because we are on a more narrow stance with our lunge, maybe that front heel and back arch are aligned with each other. Making sure that the hips are working towards the side of your mat, not necessarily forced, because that will cave that right knee in. You're going to press strongly into the big toe of the right foot, and strongly into the back foot too, making sure the arches are lifted in the feet. Let's do our heel lifts here now. So press into the ball of the left foot and inhale, lift the left heel. Maybe the hips come down a little bit. And then exhale, place the heel down again. Inhale to lift. And exhale to bring it down. Last time. Inhale, lifts the left heel. And exhale to bring it down. Inhale, sweeps our way into our reverse warrior here. And then exhale brings us into our Parsvakonasana. So it's the right arm now reaching up and over. Maybe bringing the fingertips onto the back of the skull there and opening the chest up to the front or the side of your mat there. Press now a little bit more weight into that right foot here. See, can you really reach through the tip of the crown here? Even though the whole pelvis is tilting to the side, can you have it more of a straight line of a spine rather than a curved spine reaching towards the side of your mat? Okay, so if you want to come a little bit further, we'll try that lifting of the left arm off the knee there. Now, options, you can either just take a little bit of weight off it, and if that's enough for you, stay there, or you can reach it forward. So inhale here, use the core to help you here to protect your back. Exhale, reach that left arm forward. Inhale, brings it back to the top of the knee. Exhale, reaches the left arm forward. Inhale, top of the knee. Exhale, reaches that left arm forward. And then inhale to our reverse warrior. And exhale to our arrowhead. So pivoting that right foot around to the front of the mat, arrowhead to the front of the mat, and stepping that right leg forward, folding down. Inhale, press into your feet, reach the arms up high. And exhale, hands down the midline in prayer position. Okay, so our last challenge in terms of our standing poses, and then we might do a kind of combination of them all, is we're going to do this lovely one. We're going to play around with warrior, which is one of my favorite poses. So coming up to the top of your mat again, this time we're going to be lifting the left leg. So starting with the hands on the hips here. And then inhale, lifting that left leg up. So this time I'll show it to you from the side. We're going to combine a little bit of what we've been doing through our practice and at the start of our practice. So we're going to lift the leg up on our inhale. We're going to exhale, rotate it out to the side like we did in our last flow, and then reach it back into like our warrior 3. Straight leg, press the heel away. And then inhale, reach the leg forward, lift it up. So much more challenging, and I've lost my balance there. So remembering, you might lose your balance through each of the repetitions, but that's okay. It's completely normal to kind of be playing around with your center of gravity there. Inhale to lift it, exhale, lift the knee nice and high, reach it out to the back and straighten it out, press the heel away. So those hips kind of come more squared to the front of your mat as you take that final part of that position. Do one more time. Inhale, lifting, exhale, reaching it nice and high out to the side. Remember, it's all about the knee, and then reach the heel away. So square the hips to the front of the mat, reach the heel away, and then step that left leg back. And we'll find our way into arrowhead to start our flow. So this is our exhale here. Now we're going to do this lovely rotation into goddess, one of my favorite transitions. Exhaling here And then inhale, we pivot that hip around and come into our warrior pose. Let the hips drop down nice and low here now. Exhale to the front of our mat into arrowhead. And inhale, pivot around. So just pivoting that whole left hip there around to the side of your mat and come into goddess pose. Second round, last round. Inhale to the front of your mat. So the whole hip faces forward and then the whole hip faces to the side. Exhaling here. And then inhale, hands in prayer position. Let those hips dip down towards the side of your mat, goddess pose. Okay, we're going to play around a little bit with goddess pose here. So let's just bring a little bit of a swing from left to right in our hips here. So I'm going to give you a few options with this one because this is kind of, this is something I've been playing around this week and it might take a little bit of getting used to. So we'll repeat it a few times. So what we're going to do here is we're going to lift one leg in our goddess pose. So that will take an awful lot of effort to push our center of gravity towards one side as we gently lift that leg. So initially, let's use our arms to help us. So place both of your arms, your hands on your right leg. Remember to try and keep your chest nice and open rather than curling forward. And then just lift that left leg any amount and then bring it down again to goddess position, open the hip out. Both hands to the left knee. Swing yourself forward to the back of your mat, lift that leg any amount, or even send a signal to the leg to lift. It's okay if it doesn't lift. So you might just be doing this and coming light onto the foot until it feels good and you feel the strength of the hips to lift the leg. Okay, so let's do a few more and see, can we build on it a little bit? Keeping up nice and tall. So the temptation is to lean too far forward. Try and keep your chest nice and open here. Inhale, lift that left leg up now, any amount. Squeeze into the back of that hip at the peak of your lift, okay? Rotate over to the left-hand side and lift that right leg up. Ground it down, rotate over the right-hand side. Lift that left leg up, any amount. Back down, rotate over to the left-hand side. Lift that right leg up. So let's see, can we do it without the help of the hands on the arms? So maybe just reaching the arms forward and lifting that left leg. Swing the arms through center, lift them to the side, lift the right leg. In fact, this is possibly better for keeping the chest open. Lift, swing to the right, left now, and lift. Let's do one more round. Swing to the right and lift, squeeze the back of that hip there, swing to the left and hip. So as you come down through the center, keep the hips nice and low just for your transitions. It's like you're trying to keep yourself as low as possible. You've got like a ceiling here and you're just sweeping left to right underneath it and you can't come up any higher. Okay, let's come to the front of our mat now. Come into arrowhead. And then we're going to step that left leg forward and come straight into tree pose. So lifting that left leg out to the side, remembering tree, we haven't done this one in a while. So the foot either comes to the bottom, stays on the floor with the feet on the floor. It comes to either the calf, the side of the right calf there, or it comes up to the inside of the right thigh. We are not going to be pressing out through the knee joint there. So either above the knee joint or below the knee joint, but we don't want that foot pressing into the side of the knee joint. Now squeeze into the back of that hip there, that left hip. Remembering the one that I was, those muscles that you were using to lift the leg left and right, they're the ones now that are going to open that hip out to the side. So really challenging your balance here, remembering your core, that whole 360 cinching in of the waist. Let's just keep our arms and our hips here. And breathing for 3. Breathing for 2, finding a little bit of calm amongst these challenging poses. And breathing for 1. And exhale, bring that left foot down now. And we'll do our standing flow on the left-hand side now. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to do it from the top of the mat there. So we're pouring all our weight into our left foot now because we want that foot to be the one at the top of our mat when we start our flow. And then we lift the right leg up now with the foot flexed and exhale it out to the side. Keep that knee nice and high and then reach that heel away. So remembering we're ending up in our warrior pose. Inhale, reach it out and up and exhale out to the side. knee lifted, and then the hips square at the very end of the pose, foot presses away, so foot deeply flexed there. Inhale, reaching it up, and exhale, lifting the knee and reaching the leg back. So you might find the legs are getting a little bit tired now. You've got lots of wobbles going on. Stick with it. Inhale, lift. And last one, just for good measures, reaching the knee back, the foot back, flexed foot. And then stepping that right foot back now, finding our way into arrowhead. Okay, I'm just going to make sure I'm facing you. So I have my left foot facing forward now. Okay, so we're going to come into that lovely rotation now to goddess pose. So we inhale, rotate that whole right leg to the side of the mat and let the hips dip down. And exhale to the front of the mat, square the hips to the front of the mat, and exhale, square the hips to the side of the mat. Let the hips become heavy here. And then exhale to the front of your mat, and inhale, pivot that whole right hip and hips down towards the side of your mat. Okay, let's swing a little bit from side to side, maybe placing the hands on the top of the thighs there. My legs are definitely getting good and tired now. They're really being challenged today. Okay, and let's do our swaps from side to side, lifting one leg and then the other with the hands helping us, and then with the arms reaching. So let's start with our left side this time, seeing as we're on the left side of our flow. So both hands onto the top of your left knee, remembering try and keep the chest open, and then just pouring all your weight into your left leg. Lift that right leg any amount. Bring it down with control. It's like you're trying to be really sneaky here. Hands to the top of the right knee, lift the left leg a little bit. Squeeze into the back of the hip, and then exhale, bring the foot down. Keeping nice and low, remembering that low ceiling that we're creeping under. Inhale, lifting the right leg up any amount, squeeze, and exhale, bringing it down. Left side, or right side last time. Inhale, lifting left leg up, and then exhale, bringing it down. Let's do the same thing now with the arms reaching, just helping us to keep the chest nice and open. So the arms are just going to be reaching to the left, pivot to the left a little bit, lift that right foot off the mat, squeeze into the back of that hip. Feel the left leg working there and the right hip working. Pivot the feet to the right side of the mat, squeeze, and then sweep the arms through center. Left side, lift the right leg, squeeze, exhale, inhale, squeeze and lift. Let's do one more round. Exhale, inhale, lift, exhale through center, and inhale, lift, and then coming back, maybe just bringing a little bit of movement into your hips there, and stepping forward to the front of your mat through arrowhead. So pivoting the feet to the front, opening the chest, and then inhale, lift that right leg up now. We're going to come into our final pose, tree pose, with the right leg lifted. So pour all your weight into your left foot there. I have my right leg lifted, so I'm not mirroring you. You're going to have your right leg either to the base of your calf there, or on the top of the left thigh. So we're opening up the right leg out to the side there. Hands to the hips, squeezing those glute muscles, the buttocks muscles, the back of the hips there, staying up nice and tall through the spine. Let's take 3 full breaths here. Breathing for 3. Breathing for 2. And one last breath, really feeling the sensations of working with your center of gravity here. And gently just bring that right leg down. Let's just take a gentle forward fold with the knees bent any amount. Let the whole body just sway forward over the front of the legs there. Your whole body just like a waterfall over the front of the mat. Inhale, really slowly now. Lift the arms up high. And exhale, hands down the midline in prayer position. Let's take a few breaths here in Tadasana. And just feeling, after all those standing poses, how stable your habitual movement is on both feet compared to just the way we've been working on one foot. So we're quite a feat of nature the way there's 2 really small bits of connection with the ground that this entire upper body is being held and supported on and stacked over. So let's stack. Let's do a stacking exercise. So we have our heels directly underneath the hip joint. We are stack the legs, stack the hips. So the hips are squared towards the front of your mat there. And then the shoulders are stacked on top of your hips. So have the shoulders, maybe even roll them up and back. See, can you find those lovely natural curves of your spine here? It dips in and then it comes out and dips in again. So just a little bit of awareness of the shape of your spine, your natural curves, and it's your spring. It's the thing that keeps the whole nervous system safe, because it kind of takes the compact or the impact with the ground. Maybe even closing the eyes over and just congratulating yourself for getting through all those wobbles and all those little one-legged challenges I threw at you today. And if there was some that you didn't do, that's congratulate yourself for realizing that it wasn't for you. So, you know, something for everyone. Okay, so let's come up to the top of our mat if you're not there already, and just gently bring ourselves down. So let's just come forward fold, right knee back, left knee back, down to all fours. Let's take a few rounds of cat-cow now. Inhale, any amount, and then exhale, lift the spine up towards the ceiling. Do whatever feels good for you in here, maybe even circles of 8. So circles of 8 is basically just where you're drawing an 8. People either say you're drawing an 8 with your tailbone or you're drawing an 8 with your belly button. It's literally just going one direction. And sometimes it can be a little bit hard to go the opposite direction. So see, can you work out the opposite direction and the body gets stuck in a pattern, or do anything that feels good through the spine. Coming onto your back now. So what we're going to do for our restorative today is I thought that we would keep it really simple and just give you a couple of stretches and then bring you into a lovely reclined seated pose for longer than we usually do for our restoratives, as in usually we fit a couple of poses in, but I really want you to relax into this. Maybe take the first few minutes when we come to our seated to ponder over your experience of the class and the challenges, that which poses challenged you, which ones didn't, and just how you reacted to them, and then let go of it all and sit into your practice and really let everything just settle in the mind. Okay, so coming down onto your mat, let's take constructive rest to start with. So constructive rest being the feet are mat distance apart, the knees are knocked in together, and palms facing up towards the ceiling. Now coming back to your breath here, just making sure you are breathing. So maybe even for the first few breaths of your restorative practice, you breathe through your mouth and just, you know, do whatever gives you the fresh energy and the fresh breath to settle the respiratory system and settle the heartbeat. Maybe take a heavy sigh. Okay, now reach the legs out. We're going to do our banana shaped stretch, which is our side stretch, and reach the arms overhead. Now keep the hips heavy and where they are, and walk your shoulders and your arms and your head over to the left side of your mat, and then walk your feet to the left side of your mat. So you're just making a banana or a half moon shape, probably sounds nicer. So the hips have stayed exactly in the center of their mat. Then reach through the right fingertips and through the right toes. And maybe even if you can find a little bit more space in that right hip, you can place the right foot over the left ankle there, just to secure it in space for the stretch. And maybe even gently, but very, very gently, because it's already extended, you can hold on to the right wrist with the left hand. But I'd almost just be holding it rather than tugging at it. Remembering our restorative practice is about gentle openings, not intense stretches. Intense stretches is the sympathetic nervous system. Gentle opening is the parasympathetic nervous system. Rest and restore, which is what we are currently tapping into. Now let go of the wrist, unhook that right foot. Let's just come back to center. So shimmy yourself back to center, reach the legs away. And then walk the feet, or we'll start with the upper body again. Walk the shoulders and the arms over the right side of the mat and walk the legs over to the right side of the mat. Maybe even hooking the right foot on top, or the left foot now on top of the right ankle, gently holding on to that left wrist with the right hand, but not pulling at it. And feel the space between the vertebrae there on the left side, and the space between the ribs on the left side. And can you feel an extra little bit of space in that left lung here? And then we'll come back to center again. And let's just reach the legs away. So let's take it into a star shape from here. So if the arms reaching overhead is a little bit too intense for the shoulders, and it doesn't suit everybody, it kind of depends on how your shoulders are feeling in general, and also how your shoulders might be feeling today. So mine are feeling a little bit sticky. So I'm actually just going to bring my arms into cactus position. And if cactus position doesn't work for you, just bring the arms out into T shape. So lots of options here. Reach the right toes away, and then reach the left fingertips away, whether they're in cactus, T-shape, or over the head. And then just letting go of that, reach the left toes away and reach the right fingertips away. And then letting go of that. Let's just come back to a Tadasana for a few breaths. Let the feet drop out to the side, palms facing up towards the ceiling. A little bit of space between your arms and your body. And feel the lovely support of the ground underneath your whole underside of your body here. Okay, bending the knees up and gently rolling over to your right hand side. And let's just build our structure for our most comfortable reclined seated pose. Okay, so we're going to start with 2 bricks. And we're going to take it on the mid height. So there's your mid height and there's your lowest height. Okay, that's highest height, mid height, lowest height. Okay, so we're going to go with mid and lowest at the back of your mat there. And then get your bolster and pop it on top of those 2 bricks. Now, if you know this pose really well, and if you find that actually you love the higher height, by all means, swap to the higher version. So if you're taking the higher version, all you're doing is bringing that to high and that to medium. So the bricks are always kind of, you know, if one is high, the next one is medium. If one is medium, the next one is low. Popping your mat, your bolster on top. So let's maybe pop a blanket up there if you like one. So it just depends on how it feels for your neck. And then we're going to build a roll for our knees as well. Actually, do you know what would be lovely? Let's pop a blanket underneath our hips to get an extra little bit of padding for our hips as well, seeing as we have the props. And then making a blanket roll. So just if you have 2 blankets, great, make the blanket roll with 2. If you have 1 blanket, just make a blanket roll with 1. Okay, so this kind of a sized blanket, and simple as we're just going to roll them up to this kind of a width, or you can have it a thicker roll if you want to. It's just going to go underneath the knees there. Okay, so this is our coziest version of our reclined seated pose. If there's anything else you like to have, maybe blankets over you, blankets around your feet, you know, get creative now. You've been doing restorative for a while. You know how to find your most comfortable version of the pose. A little bit of space between your bolster and hips there so that you have room for your lower back to drape rather than get hit by the bolster. Bring both arms either side of the bolster, lengthen up through the spine. Make sure you have lovely symmetry. Are the shoulders both facing forward? Are the hips both symmetry squared towards the front of your mat there? And if you're happy that you are completely symmetric, yeah, that's it. Bring yourself down onto your bolster. And just playing around with that like folded blanket there at the back, if that's too much and that feels a little bit too high for my head. So I am going to open it up 1 and see how that feels. Maybe it's just my bobbin getting in the way. So just making sure that you don't have your chin too tucked there. So that's how I know that my head was too high there. There was too much of a chin tuck going on. So we still want to maintain a nice neutral spine there in our seated position. So lovely. We've got our blanket underneath our hips there, which is a nice support for the back of our hands as well. And you know that you've got your choices here. So the hands up towards the ceiling or palms down towards the ground, just depending on whether you are feeling you want an extra little bit of fresh air or a cooling down, or whether you really feel you need some grounding down. So making any little shifts or movements. Remove my bloaster. Scanning now your unique experience of this pose from the tips of your toes to the top of your head. So checking in with the backs of your feet, the backs of your knees, the backs of your hips there. Do you need another blanket underneath? Is that completely comfortable under your hips? Making sure that your spine is along the ridge of the bolster equally. Can you feel the bolster in between your elbows there? Like if you sandwich the bolster, does it feel like it's equally on your back there? Let the shoulders really soften now, like they're dribbling down the side of your bolster like honey. And as the shoulders soften, feel the chest shining up towards the sky. Bring your attention to your breath here now. Can you feel the expansion of your inhale as the chest rises and you almost lift a little bit off your bolster? And the contraction of the exhale. As you drop back, and it's almost like you become a little bit heavier towards the support of your props with your exhale. Inhaling, lifting a little, and exhale, dropping back and accepting the support the bolsters are giving you. Now doing another scan, seeing is there anything that you're holding tension anywhere. Check in with your jaw, checking in with your eye sockets, and checking in with the stories that you're telling yourself. So can you just drop the stories and really absorb yourself into the practice? Now I'm going to do a body scan here just to help you relax into this main pose of our restorative practice. If you are already finding that you are absolutely in your comfort zone and you are enjoying this part of your practice, just zone out from me and my scan through the body and just enjoy your own version of your restorative practice. So if you're coming along with me, we'll start with the right foot. So the tip of the right toe, the top of the right foot, the top of the right ankle, the back of the right heel pressed into the ground, the little curve at the back of your ankle, the back of your calf, which is kind of drooping off your rolled blanket, the back of your knee, back of your right thigh, back of your right hip, front of your right hip softening, lower right back, front right belly, upper back, front right ribs, shoulder blade, right side, Front of right shoulder softening down towards the side of your bolster. Upper right arm draping down the side of the bolster. Back of the right forearm placed on the mat or the blanket. Back of the right hand placed on the blanket. Right side of your neck. Right jaw softening. Right cheekbone. Right nostril. Right eye socket deep. Right side of your forehead softened like silk. Top of the right skull. The silk draping over it. Whole right side body softening. Notice if there any difference between the right and the left side now. Starting with the left side. Tip of the left big toe. Top of the left foot. Back of the left heel. That little curve at the back of the heel, the ankle. Back of the left calf draping over the blanket. Back of the left knee. Back of the left thigh. Back of the left hip. Softly sitting on the bolster. Front of the hip, left side, softening. Lower back, left side. Upper back, left side. Ribs, left side. Left shoulder. Left upper arm. Left lower arm. Left wrist, back of the left hand. Fingertips curled in towards the palm. Left neck. Left jaw. Left cheekbone. Left eye socket. Left side of the forehead, soft as silk, silk draping over the top of the left skull, whole left side of the body, softening, accepting. The whole body, softening in towards the mat, letting gravity do its job. Feeling heaviness and at the same time a lightness. See, can you visualize the color white behind your eyes? The eyes gently closed. Feel white all around you. This bright lightness that feels the uplifting of spirits. And getting ready now to come into Shavasana. So it's always good to come all the way down to the ground. So really moving with as little energy as possible. Pressing your hands into either side of the bolster there. We can leave the blanket underneath our hips, leave the blanket underneath our knees. Just gently push the bolster out of your way, push the bricks out of your way. Hands either side of you again and coming down, forearms. Coming down all the way to the ground. Maybe just shimmying your hips a little bit, making sure they feel nice and neutral. And my lower spine feels fine, but if you find that that gentle lift of the blanket under your hips is bringing any tension into your lower spine, just lift the hips up and pop the brick or the blanket out to the side. Hands facing up towards the ceiling. Find that same lovely neutral, symmetrical spine that we had on our bolster. The whole body now pressing gently and lifting lightly into the support of the ground. Getting ready now to come out of your Shavasana. Gently rolling over to your right hand side. Using your left arm to support you, bring yourself to a comfortable seated position. Using any of your props, your bolster, whatever feels good underneath your hips. Hands in prayer position at your heart. Taking a lovely, long, restorative breath here, extending your exhale as much as is comfortable. Thumbs to your third eye, to your lips, to your heart center, and namaste. And thank you for practicing with me. I'll see you again next week for the last of our 5 sessions.